don't really get discouraged too much.
When a client hits you with an objection, or you try to offer something, or you try to relay the message of what they qualify for.
So when people tell me they're not interested, I kind of try to like redirect the conversation.
See that it's easy to get 150,000 with one phone call with 4 bank statements, no tax returns, and you get 150,000. Tequila Thursday.
Cheers.
Lord, cheers.
Cheers.
Lord, cheers. Lord, cheers. Cheers.
So a long week. Cheers.
Sarah got hers from the cure. It's all good. No problem. Listen, Sarah, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, because I think besides myself, I think I'm really good on the phones. You know every product. I think you're better than me on the phones. When a client hits you with an objection, or you try to offer something, or you try to relay the message of what they qualify for, when you get an objection, just like you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, do you panic in that moment, or do you kind of see it as like a yes, challenge accepted? How am I going to break through this wall? What is it for you?
Yeah, I don't really get discouraged too much because at the end of the day, I always bring it back to, like you guys all have taught me, the use of funds. I like to pinpoint exactly what the client needs the funds for, make them spend their money in their head. Also, I really cater which product works best for their wants. So some people are super interested in the 0% business credit card. They're really interested in that 0% for the year. They feel like they can make profit off of it. Some people are focused on getting money quickly, and you go towards revenue-based funding with that client. So just knowing what their purpose and their use of funds is definitely helps me guide them to the right product. And then usually I don't have pushback because we have a product here for people that need funds quick, people with good credit scores, people with financials. So I don't have pushback because we have the product they're looking for. Another thing, I don't really panic. Jose does all the time. He knows our worth as salespeople. So a lot of times we tell the client, all right, go ahead, try it on your own. We might even give them a little sauce, but they still come back to us or return to us because our approval rates are higher. They like the trust that we create with our client. So I never really get too flustered if a client pushes back. This week alone, I'm working more on the Fund Rock side, and 3 to 4 clients that I funded in the past just came back to me. So these are people I funded 6 months to a year ago. So that really just shows that the customer service is there, the products are there, the communication is there, and that's what's important.
Now, when she's saying it's there, she's tooting her own horn, because that means that she did such a good job. She was so informative the first time around that. And listen, trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you guys all know, when you apply for financing, everybody starts hitting up your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody starts reaching out. That means that those clients that reach back out to you, Sarah, you made a lasting impression on them so much that they turned down all those other phone calls and they reached out back to you because they knew that they were going to get the most information. They were going to get everything that they could ever want. You were going to deliver to them. That's fine. Check this out.
And Sarah, also just to add to that, I mean, Sarah, you don't give yourself enough credit. I feel sometimes you're very knowledgeable. This is why a lot of affiliates choose to want to work with you because your product knowledge. And that goes back to.
Okay, isn't it true that there was a couple of affiliates that turned down the 50%?
Let me. Just,
all right, I'll let you cook. All right, we're gonna start.
But listen, but this goes into just product knowledge, right? It's the same information that everyone has access to, right? It's just understanding the different products, understanding the guidelines. Sarah does that on the day to day. She's been with us for I think a little bit over a year, almost 2 years now, right? Something probably longer. But you know what? She just basically, once again, she was coachable in the sense that she was willing to learn, eager to learn. One thing about her too that stands out is the fact that it's always, it's not one product that she can make a lot of money on. It's what does the client actually need the money for, and that's why clients keep coming back. And that service or that customer service, to be honest with you, also relate back conversion ratios with affiliates and ISOs because. Getting to what Darryl was going to mention is that there was an affiliate that decided because at 50%, 3 of them, at 50% means that you're on your own, right? You can close a deal, you do everything. Because Sarah presented such great service, right? Customer service, client service. They said, hey, I don't want 50%, even though I can do it on my own. I want Sarah on my team to be able to go ahead and make sure that number one, I can get it past the finish line. And I know that Sarah really handholds the client to make that possible. And also everything from updates to following up. So I've heard her even close the deal in some cases. You know what? Let me take over because she does this on a day to day and she knows what different banks are available. So that just goes to say, first of all, congratulations. I don't think Sarah gives herself enough credit. And also too is just for you guys out there is learn the products, because once you learn the products is when you are able to stand out from everyone else. And remember, not everyone else offer these products. So go to the shops, go to the ISOs, go to anyone else that does merchant cash advances and tell them that you have traditional programs available. Make other people send you over business and work for you. You're making 50%. But if there's volume, we can definitely talk about how we can actually increase that if we can, right? But we can have a conversation. Everything is always a conversation if there are numbers behind it.
Jose, I have to cut you off. We've been friends for how long?
I don't know. Let you get.
I have a confession for you. No matter how many times we play Never Have I Ever, I have a confession for you. Something that you haven't learned yet. I refer Sarah my traditional deals.
There you go. Look.
I,
See?
okay.
Well, I was waiting for him to say it. Finally.
Wait. You've been learned for a long time. Listen, I don't like. That's what I don't like. Right? I'm an MCA guy. I'm a revenue-based financing guy at heart. We have loads of different programs here, but for me, I like to stay to my niche. What I'm really good at is submitting the deals for revenue-based funding, and I'm really good at getting people money quick. I know all the other programs, right? But Sarah is way better than me. She's way more knowledgeable than me at those products. And she can tell you, if I get somebody has over 680 credit score and we submit to our back office and it qualifies for traditional, I'm just like, all right, Sarah, listen, I'll split commission with you. Just
make it happen.
Just do it, right? And I'd rather do that. I know that one thing she's gonna do, she's gonna make sure the clientele updates. That's the main thing. The main thing whenever you're doing anything traditional, and the main reason why MCA shops send us over deals is because they don't want to have to give the client updates day to day because it's a long process. Listen, it's a bank product. 30 days. That's it. But the majority of these clients that you guys speak to that actually are only being contacted by MCA companies are used to the application bank statements, quick money, quick responses. That's not what Sarah specializes in. She specializes in the nurturing of the deal. Hey, listen, you got to pay this down. Okay, great. That's paid down. Okay, great. Now we have to remove the inquiries from your credit report. Okay, now that's done. Now it's a process. She's the best in the business at that. So I give her flowers. Kind of a one-time radical or whatever effect you want to play for Sarah. Gotta give her credit for that. You say you were say something.
She's gonna take a bow.
In terms of objections, because I'm so transparent and really explain every product clearly, I don't have too many objections. However, like Daryl mentioned, with traditional products, we do have to stay in contact with the client continuously because sometimes banks take their time. So an objection might be, I need the funds quick. Yes, I could pivot to an MCA. However, they might not want an MCA. So I really describe the value of the product that they're going for. Yes, it might take you 3 weeks. We're doing 20% of your gross receipts that, is going to get you $350,000. So, when it comes to the time frame, that might be an objection, but it's not a hurdle to get over. At all. Now, what are some objections that you guys face in revenue based funding?
So the biggest objection, and it's so funny you bring this up, Sarah, because last night when Jose and I did our MCA live dive, which some of you guys showed up for, which is great. When we were going over the MCA live dive, we noticed that a lot of people really don't know how to take like provide a client with a exit strategy,
Right.
right? Because who wouldn't want to take an MCA? All an MCA needs is it's quick money. You get money in 24 to 48 hours. Who wouldn't want that? The biggest objection to why people don't want to take MCAs is the repayment schedule and also the cost of capital. That is the main thing. But really, it's the repayment schedule. Nobody wants to ever pay anything daily, and no one wants to pay anything weekly. That's why people don't want to take MCAs. But the majority of them really don't want to take MCAs because they fucking abuse it. That's it. They see that it's easy to get 150,000 with one phone call with 4 bank statements, no tax returns, they get 150,000. Then the next guy calls them 3 days later. Oh, you took 150? Guess what? Get you another 100. And now they're like, wow, $250,000 in 3 days. I didn't have to show any tax returns.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
How about the people that just, I guess, let's roll that over to CC real quick as a newbie. We'll put you on a. How about the people that say I'm not interested? What kind of objections or rebuttals do you use for that?
So when people tell me they're not interested, I kind of try to like redirect the conversation to why they even applied in the first place, because clearly you were interested, in my opinion. So sorry. But I try to like redirect the conversation, and I let them know that we offer more than just MCAs, and that's like one of the biggest things that I have been learning is that we offer more than MCAs. I know that we offer lines of credit. We offer like business credit cards and stuff like that. So there's more than one option. I think that a lot of people, when they're calling, they immediately think, hey, like she's just trying to sell me an MCA. She's just trying to make fast cash. And like, honestly, like that's not the truth at all. I'm a genuine person. So I genuinely want to see everyone's business thrive. Like really, like I want to see everyone get this money, invest, and thrive off of it. So I just try to redirect the conversation to let them know that we do offer a lot of different programs from what Jose has told me, and he does. So
And when it comes to MCAs, if they don't qualify for any product, I can imagine that you guys harp on the fact that they have no other option as well. So
Yeah.
people say I don't want daily payments. They might come in expressing all these things that they don't want, but
No, time out. You took a shot. You took a shot. You know you took a shot. You know damn well you took a shot. Sarah. You're not gonna do that. Listen, Sarah hates daily payments. She hates it. She's a mortgage professional by by her background. She's used to traditional financing. She runs our traditional financing department. She hates daily payments. Doesn't really believe in it. And this is something that, listen, she's a really good friend of mine. We always have a tug of war about that. She doesn't feel like daily payments. She doesn't really believe in them, right? The thing is, Bow, the thing is, I personally just would rather offer somebody a daily than to say you don't qualify for anything, right? And that guy really does need that 30K. And Sarah actually did get a 30K, 12 points closed last month. That
But that's why I bring up even like objections with the MCAs, which sometimes I get nervous. Oh, they're not gonna think they can afford this type of repayment, but when they have no other option, then they take the deal. So when it comes to
time out.
Hold on. That does not mean that the clients that get approved have no other option. That means that there's two different kind of clients. The client that has a low credit score and the benefit of something short term or alternative financing is that credit score can drop down to 400s. I've seen that happen, right? So what would a person rather do, right? And I think Darren and I both feel the same way on this, because it's just a merchant cash advance or alternative lending is misunderstood because people just don't know how to explain it. Right? What would you rather do? I mean, if you tell me that you care about your client, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about in general. If you tell
Yeah,
you
don't talk about
if you I don't want to get upset at me and beat me up after this. But let's say you that's watching this right now. You care about your client so much, right? Oh, my client doesn't want a cash advance, He told me he wants a business line of credit. Okay, everyone's going to tell you that. But what are you going to do then? Since you care about the client so much, turn them down and shut the door and not give them any money, or provide them the only program that he or she qualifies for. Right? At the end of the day, everyone has this negative remark or this negative impression of what a merchant cash advance or a revenue-based program is, because the client always says they took advantage of me. Honestly, I feel you just don't know how to present the product. That's the problem. It's not the client. You don't know how to show the benefit, right? Because trust me, people with 800 credit scores are taking this type of money. I have a client right now where we discussed yesterday in Live Night. He has an 804 credit score.
Yep.
And she's taking the cash advance because she needs the money quickly because she now is getting busier. So she needs the money, and I'm getting her out with a traditional bank loan. So it's just don't assume that the client that you're presenting something short term, it's someone that has bad credit, because trust me, no one's going to give that person money if any type of funding on the alternative side, they're not giving you money because they want to take you out of a jam. They're giving you money because it's going to help you grow.
Hold on, time out. That's one of the sickest things you ever said on the pod. That's one of the sickest things you ever. Okay, okay. That's one of the sickest things you ever said on the pod. Guys, MC lenders do not approve people that are drowning.
Yeah.
That's not what the program is. But that's what people assume when they hit daily or weekly payments. How about this? Some people get approved for three. And listen, you affiliates out there that are setting over deals, you know, some of your guys that are getting approved for business credit cards, sometimes they only get approved for 3K, right? In the MCA space, that's like getting approved for a daily payment. We could just deny your file in general, but we're going to give you a starter program. We're going to give you a chance to prove yourself. So what's better? Offer you $30,000 as a daily payment, or say, screw your business, figure it out, Charlie. You know what I mean? That's almost like what the $3,000 credit cards are at 0% interest. We could just decline you.
Yeah.
But Charlie, how about this? Take the 3K, interest free for 12 months, make a couple of payments, come back, show that you know you're making your payments. We can trust you. We'll give you more money. It's the daily payment and the 3K credit card is it's a lifeline. We'd rather give you a lifeline than to just deny your file as a whole.
And listen, if you guys join, if you guys are part of the community and you join Live Dive, honestly, we go more in depth with this. Yesterday, we have credit reports, what is data sheets as far as the worksheet of how we break everything down. But honestly, this also goes into our second segment, which is the psychology behind handling objections, right? Because what is the biggest thing that everyone say? I don't want daily. I don't want daily. Okay, this is gonna be something that you guys. It's normally we do this for our paying customers, where it's. Let me ask you a question. If the objection is actually a daily payment, you have to understand why, right? Because what if I gave you the $10,000, but I told you that you're gonna get a monthly payment, right? Now, because your balances are low, and I don't want you to have a $2,000 payment at the end of the month, because looking at previous month, you ended with $100, 150, 200, 300, something less than 2,000. What if I told you, okay, I'll give you a monthly payment, but for your benefit, Mr. Jones, I'm gonna break that down to 20 installments.
Only for you, Mr.
Right?
Jones.
And it's gonna, because everyone says, oh, my client doesn't take money in daily. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm sure that you, Mr. Affiliate, you don't wait to the last minute, your last paycheck, to come up with your rent, right? You plan it out. Essentially, what you do is you plan it out. You're actually paying your mortgage or your rent weekly, if you think about it, because you're going to grab a certain percentage of your check on this week, put it aside. Then you're grabbing another percentage, you're putting it aside, and so on and so forth until it adds up to the month. Or what if, let's say that now you know that your weekly expenses, you want to take a little bit of that money on a daily basis, right? You're a planner, as you should be. Why? Because you don't want to spend all that money. So what you do, Monday, I grab this amount of money, I put it into this account. Tuesday, the same thing, same amount, put it here. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. Let's say you apply that same concept to your rent. You're a responsible individual that plans. So the reason why you get a daily or a weekly, it's not because your business takes money in daily or weekly, which is the biggest misconception. It's because you're a planner. Because if you look at your financials, you don't have that amount of money at the end of the month. And look at your clients. How many of those clients, if you grabbed the payment, and if it was daily, multiply by 20, if it's weekly, multiply by 4, at the end of the month, have that amount of money in the account? If anything, I would say this: you're being selfish because you want to put the client in a position that they can't pay. So now, why would you want to do that?
Because you know, Jose, even if they're short $1, that payment bounces.
Oh, 100%.
Right? So if they have a $2,500, if they would have a $2,500 MCA payment at the end of the month, and they have $2,499 in the account, that shit bounces. And all of a sudden, their payroll comes out. All of a sudden, something else comes out. And now, after payment number one, the lenders are trying to recoup their money.
They're scrambling and scraping.
And you know what? That's just not something that lenders want to do. They want to they only want to put out money that they think they're going to get back.
Correct.
So again, and you guys know, a lot of you listen. We have plenty of people watching right now. you guys have submitted revenue-based financing before. How many times did a deal get declined because of negative days?
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you guys tried to get a deal put into reverse consolidation where they're bouncing a couple of payments and no one wants to help them? These guys don't want to throw you a lifeline. They're only going to improve your business if they feel like they're going to get their money back.
Right.
So the fact that anybody feels like an MCA is like the devil, or they just don't know how to present the offer properly. Now again, you can't force anybody to take any money. If they don't want the money, they don't want the money, right? That's why we don't think that the position that we're in is sales. All we can do is offer you your best possible option. Whatever you do with that information is totally up to you. At the end of the day, we're only trying to help people out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jose,
Yes.
what I want to do really quick, because we've been doing a lot of training, right?
No, that's me. That's actually easy. Let's get it. There we go. It's for the hot seat.
CC. So CC, really quick.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 days, like you've been with us for almost 2 weeks, but the last 2 days, you've seen yourself be able to transition people from an MCA to other products.
Right.
And it's a little nerve-wracking for you because you're like, oh my God, like I don't want to be annoying, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Like these are the things that you say. Why don't you explain really quick, just to everybody watching at home, how you overcame certain fears of products that you're just trying to know, that you're just trying to learn. Explain, like when you trying to get me on the phone for the three-way to explain the mortgage deal, or when you had to get Jose on the phone to explain to Ronnie James. Yeah, then you had to explain the product to that young lady. Why don't you just explain like your emotions going into that when you had to pivot from the MTA product, which is what we really teach you on.
Right. So training has not been difficult really for me at all. Like I said, because of the people who are training me and the people in this office. Like I said, I'm very comfortable with everyone in this office. So it's easy to, get on that three-way call with you. It's easy to ask Jose a question. It's easy to redirect the conversation because everyone's so uplifting and supportive. So it hasn't really been an issue, and I feel like I've grown faster because of my environment and the people. I think I do work hard. I work very hard. I want to be really good at this. I take the time, I take notes, I study, I do all that, but that's not the whole reason why I've been able to like have success. I think it's because of the people that's surrounding me and uplifting. I'm very team oriented. I can't succeed in anything without support. I need people, and Jose is like a great boss, and like so are you. Like Daryl, like you're very easy to go to. If I wasn't comfortable, going to you, I would struggle. So it's been very comfortable. Like I've been excited to like come to work every day because I love it.
Hey, clap it up. Yeah,
Like, and that feels like so weird to say, but I just love the energy of like the workspace. Like I never thought that like people would think like, oh, like like it's you're here like all morning and night, like don't you want to go home? Honestly, like the time goes so fast. Today I was looking at the clock and I was like, okay, I'm gonna hop on the dialer and make some calls, and then it was already 11. I was like, oh my god, like it's already 11. I couldn't believe it. But time goes so fast in here because of like the energy. Everyone's like really working hard. Everyone's always on a call. People are always getting after it, but at the same time, like there is this like other energy that's like you can chill, like you can lay back. And I'm very like high strung, so I'm very
You know what I'm saying?
intense. I'm intense, and like I want to like be.
No, but you have a burning. You have a burning desire to succeed.
Yeah, I really do. But also, it's like it's nice to be able to like get like a giggle in and laugh with people and
Yeah, we
feel
don't.
comfortable. I genuinely just feel comfortable. So if I felt uncomfortable, I'd probably not have as much.
As long as you guys do what you're supposed to, cheers to that. But as long as everyone does what they're supposed to, honestly, we're not here. We
Hold on, really quick, read the comments. So Stanley said, can't hear the clap effect. Effects aren't working. I think Radical kind of fixed that. Jessica, Jose is a great couch. Yo, Jessica, let me tell you something. He is. I've laid on Jose a couple of times, a couple of times too. He's kind of comfy, especially in the fall. Definitely a nice little warm body to snuggle up with. No, but she obviously, man, great coach. And Jessica knows she's to dragging Jose out to company events, to events, to meet different affiliates. And I think that you and Jessica over the past literally like what, like 2, 3 weeks, you guys have gotten almost like 20 different people to go ahead and send us some
Yes, yes. And also with the podcast, it's funny because the Steve that came last week, I went to an event. It was actually Indigenous Day. There was an event. I went over there, and it was the way I was accepted or received. Honestly, when I came in, it was like, oh my God, it was a great podcast. Steve had a great time.
Yeah,
It was a gentleman that we met at the event. It was Ryan, Jessica, Francisco, myself, and that's what we started doing a lot. And also too, I heard great things once again about Sarah. Right, they were like, "Wow, she's this young lady had you did not expect the voice, right, that came out of this young lady, the confidence, and listen, it's great things. You don't really believe it, Sarah, but it's great things that everyone constantly says about you. Today's like Sarah Day.
It's Sarah Day.
It's a very Sarah
Listen,
Day.
what we want to do is we want to kind of play like shuffle really quick, right? So
Before we go, I just wanted one thing because it was one thing that actually happened. Cece, I would like for you to tell them the story about the guy that you spoke to yesterday, CW. Right, because that was actually a great and I don't want to ruin your story, but this plays into handling objections because this client I think was telling you a lot of questions, but I won't take the spotlight. Please go ahead and explain to everyone what their objections were and what happened.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to explain this as best as I can, but basically I was on the dialer yesterday and I got someone who answered, and it was some, a tech company over in Los Angeles, California, and he was basically, questioning me, kind of like, putting me down a little bit, like, where'd you get my bank statements, oh, are you logged into my bank account, this, that, like, really, like, going at it with me, and, basically questioning if I was
Reputable.
yeah, reputable.
Yeah, it's okay.
Sorry about that.
Reputable.
There's two different ways to say it, but he was questioning me that, and I had to like shift gears into like an assertive version of myself, where like I was not gonna let this guy like just scare me off the phone. Like I was gonna fight for it. Like I'm gonna fight to stay on the phone, and I'm gonna fight to tell you why you should, you
Do
should
business
meet
with
me.
me. Yeah.
He's like, so many people are calling me. Well, I don't care because I'm not so many different people. Like I think that like it's all about like differentiating, like being different. Like be different on the phone. Like that's what I'm learning. Like is like be that one phone call that stands out, like that phone call where like they hang up and they're like, yeah, like that person is different than the last person I talked to. So that was a problem. Me and him we were going back and forth, and I was like in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna fight for this no matter what. I'm looking at his bank statements, I'm like, you need to like whatever, and he stayed on the phone with me and he gave me that information, and I was very surprised because this was someone who was, he was combative. He did not want to give me information. He questioned me a lot, and I ended up getting him on with Jose, and it was.
Well, you did, yeah. You obtained the documentation. You got the client to give you all the information because I think there was some information I was missing.
Yeah.
Then we did what the back office did. What they do, right? They went ahead. They pulled the credit. It was soft credit pull. It turns out the client has a 704 or something.
Yeah. He was
704 credit score. Great low utilization. Now the client, we went ahead. We spoke to him this morning.
Yeah.
Right, and the client was so excited because he's in Los Angeles. He was like, "Yo, call me at 10 o'clock."
Yeah, he
That's
was ready
7
for
o'clock
this
in the
call.
morning.
Yeah, he was ready for the call. He emailed me and everything. He
Yep.
was like following up. He's like, "What number should I expect
Yep.
you to call from?"
Correct.
Yeah, his whole energy changed like once I stood my ground. I felt like it's like important to stand your ground. Like it could be easy for me to be like timid and be like let him get to me, but I was not gonna let him get to me. I was gonna let him know, like, listen, I have your bank statements. I have it right here. You should work with me for
Yeah.
XYZ. Like I will let you know, like I think it's all about being like a pit bull. Sometimes I come off as a golden retriever. I'm not. Like I'm here to get things done. Work work with me if work with me if you want to, but I think it's all about knowing your worth. Like, even though I just started, like, I'm still gonna come in with a confidence and energy that, like, I'm worth it because I know my character. I know what I bring to the table, So,
And it reflects on.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen, she also has red bottoms. You heard
Yes,
every day.
that's
You heard?
it.
You heard?
It's that confidence.
Oh my God, who the?
I think it's all about being yourself and like standing in your energy and
That's
standing in
it.
your character. You have to own that. And like you're gonna like I talk to so many different people a day and I
Yep.
try to bring something different into every conversation to make me stand out. Like today I'm gonna stand out with Bob on the phone because whatever. Oh,
It's always a Bob.
you live in Indiana? Like I've always wanted to go there. No, I haven't. No, I don't. But like I'm just gonna be relatable. You have to be personable.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, I love being so I love being personable and I love being like gritty and assertive and that's how I see
Yeah.
the tech guy and I'm really happy I did
Yes.
because I had to fight for that. I did. I had
Yeah.
to fight and I had to
Yeah,
stand.
that was a great job. Good job.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, really quick. Obviously, well, listen, this is the month of Halloween.
Sarah.
This is not Sarah's changed.
Wow.
Beard, she got a suit and shit. So now that Sarah's in a costume change, who are you now?
Whew. The one and only legendary Rye Guy.
Yeah.
Over, hell yeah!
Hell yeah! So, Rye Guy, now that you are here, I want you to explain in the mortgage industry how you really overcome objections. Because I'm very sure that once you start to try to deliver a pricer or deliver information to somebody, they don't just accept it on the first phone call. So what do you do at that point? How do you go ahead and turn that potential client into someone that's going to pay for their appraisal?
Yeah, so the way we do that is obviously not by yesing the client to death because we can't do everything, especially when it's unrealistic ask. Is this microphone?
Oh,
no,
you
good.
can't hear yourself. It's weird. Just go ahead. Talk.
Okay,
Yeah, you're good.
perfect. Just want to make sure. So, first of all, having a supportive team, such as Sexy Chocolate, aka Stan the Man.
Yeah, shout out to Stanley.
Shout out.
Wow.
That was a strong clap.
But just being upfront with the client, just setting, hey, this is what I'm going to need to get the appraisal link out so we can get the deal moving forward. Already ran the numbers, already did our upfront due diligence, and basically just being transparent with the client. That really is what it is at the end of the day. If you're not transparent with the client and you're just the guy who's yesing to death, it's not going to work out. You're just going to spin the client's wheels. Nothing's going to happen. But
Now, look, I was going to cut you off right now. What I was going to say to you is, listen, we had
the real way is going through all the numbers. You're going through not just like, hey, here's processing fee, here's the underwriting fee, here's the origination fee. You're going through, all right, here's all the third party fees, here's what we see on other deals. Give the client actual examples. If it's in Mobile, Alabama, give the client an example of a deal you closed in Mobile, Alabama, or working on currently. So you can get accurate numbers in front of them and get an actual cost breakdown, income and expenses, so the client can have a true understanding of where all the money is going that they're paying for the loan. That's incredibly important because a lot of lenders are just like, yeah, it's going to be great, I promise you, work with me. And then next thing you know, you get to the closing table, conditional loan approval, and then next thing you know, your expenses have tripled. I've heard that from a lot of clients.
now, right now, one thing that I definitely want to ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot because I see Stanley's.
No worries, you already have.
Stanley has never commented this much in a session ever. I wish Stanley could be here, but he if you guys didn't know, Stanley coaches Pee Wee football, so he's probably right now from the field going ahead and texting us. Stanley, thank you very much for tuning in. Clap it up for Stanley. Thank you. Thank you, Stanley, for putting colorful emojis in there, black clapping hands. Thank you so much. No, but right now, really quick, one thing that I know that Stanley and Jose have been harping on you about is staying on the phone too long with certain clients, right? Maybe they might not be worth it. Maybe they are. Why don't you explain? Because this is definitely something that they've been saying for quite a while. Why don't you try? Because there might be some of you out there that stay on the phone. Maybe you don't know if it's too long or too not long, but right now, why don't you really quick just explain your thought process when you're on the phone with a client and why you maybe might not think it's that long? Maybe you think it's the right amount of time.
No, I think it's a long time, absolutely. And when it's a client that's going nowhere, it definitely is. All right, we need to cut this call short. But in the mortgage business, it's not like the MCA business. It's not like the business SBA term loans, the lines of credit, etc. It's it's a relationship business. The way to build a relationship is by spending the time with the client and doing due diligence up front. Not only can you know if it's a real deal by doing diligence up front and spending the time with that client, that's how you're going to know if it's a real deal. You're going to get a feel for, does he know what he's talking about? Does he know the terms? Like, you could find, if you're a real estate guy, you can know in 5-10 minutes if he knows what he's talking about, and you spend that time that other lenders are not going to do. That's how you win the business, because you're building a trust, programmatic relationship.
Hold on. Hold on. Wait, so you're saying that?
Wait, hold on, time out. Before you go into this, who the hell disappeared to your right, Jose?
I would like to
so,
say,
right, all right. No, you can't go back anymore. So go ahead, let's go to Jose.
That's not CC no more.
That's not CC anymore.
Complete opposite of CC.
Introduce yourself real quick. This is
A black woman? You're not a black woman?
this is a newcomer, and introduce yourself.
How's it going? My name is Mike.
Capital for Mike.
Uh,
Yeah.
Funding manager over here. Been here about 3 months, and just grinding.
but you come with experience.
I have about 5 years in back office experience. I know how to read bank statements, analyze bank statements, know where deals should go, know the funding amount that they should receive. So it's been a different transition, but it's for the best. So.
And he doesn't give himself as much credit. This guy is
Yeah,
very knowledgeable.
Flowers, Jose.
But listen, it goes back to what we were saying earlier: is understanding what your products are. And he started off more as understanding what the back office, right? And that's sometimes what we do is whenever we see someone that doesn't really understand the product, we make sure that they understand the process, the back office, right? Why do you request 4 months of statements? What do you look at in the statements? Negative days, true revenue, right? Not just transfers, true revenue, etc. And Mike, you've been doing this for quite some time, and Mike is amazing on the phones, right? One exercise we did last time was where, tell me. First, we start off with Daryl. Daryl, tell me why you were amazing, right? And then Daryl goes ahead and tells everyone why he was amazing. But everyone then thought, okay, so they're going to ask me why I'm amazing. So let me think about that. When it went to the next person, I asked them, okay, tell me why the person to the right of you is actually amazing, right? And that now it changed them, but it also helped build people's confidence, right? Sales representatives' confidence, because they were able to hear something from their colleagues, people that work with them side by side, of how amazing they are, and sometimes they don't feel that or don't realize that. And one thing was, he's great on the phones. Everyone looks up. I heard someone else before say, hey, I hope that I become as knowledgeable as Mike is, because he can have a conversation and he's confident.
And that was day 3 of him on the phones. Day 3. God, listen, Jose's been fucking so modest. I'm cursing. It's like minute 47. Listen, from the last company that we worked at, Mike was the processor. He was the me at the last company. He was submitting to lenders, he was building relationships and stuff, and I would have to go to Mike to do the majority of everything. Roles from now switch. Listen, get into role play, ladies and gentlemen. At home, get into role play. Change whole perspective of life. But now me and Mike are playing a little bit of professional role play. Now I'm the back office, he's the sales guy. Right? Even though I still do sales, now he's front lines on the phone speaking to people. And I trust Mike with every bone in my body to be able to speak to the clients that need money now. Now Mike's on the phone. Now Mike already knows the back end. When you understand the back end of the industry, which is submitting, getting approvals, denials, reading bank statements, now you're on the front end and you're able to on the phone read a bank statement to somebody and be like, Bob, listen, exit no way.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah. That makes Mike super successful. So he was a little apprehensive at first about getting on the phones. But then when we did an exercise, first off, Jose's not really that good at exercises and being able to convey messages.
As you can see, I don't hit the gym that much.
See, that was good. Jose actually created exercises and was fired because now we have a bunch of new people that are new on the phones. We've been sharing to you guys our journey as a company, hiring a mass hiring. Now we have new people on the phones, and now Mike Mike doesn't really know. He's like a little timid. He's like, oh, like he's like, damn, like how did I sound today? We did an exercise and people are like, Mike, we're listening to you. We look up to what you're saying. We're trying to learn from you. Mike texted me. He's like, holy shit, Daryl. I had no idea that that's what people thought.
Yeah.
But that's because he wasn't confident because he's not used to being a sales guy. But he knows all the objections because he's used to looking at bank statements. He's used to pulling credit. He's used to saying, yo, Bob, listen, you're a 590 credit score. You're doing about 10 grand a month. Oh, you're a trucker. Yeah, you're probably gonna get through with $7,500. He's able to tell them that on the phone. So when they're like, "Yeah, I want 40," Bob, that's not happening unless you have a cosigner. And we get,
yes.
But yes, yeah.
But also too goes back to objections doesn't necessarily mean that you have to steamroll the client or you have to be a pit bull. He's just giving facts. Bob, listen, I'm and he's confident when he says it because he knows how to read it. He understands it. Bob, listen, realistically, you're making $5,000 and you want $50,000. It's not gonna happen. But let me ask you a question: do you have a cosigner? What's your credit score? Have other programs?
Do you own property?
You do that exactly, 100%. He has a client right now that he was telling me, Jose, listen, we could do this and this. I'm like, wow, okay, you know what, you're right. It was he now brings that knowledge, but understanding your product.
Yes.
Right. And rebuttals don't just mean steamrolling someone. Everyone thinks that it's all about like the car salesman mentality. Nothing wrong with car salesman, but where you're shoving something down someone's throat. That's not it anymore.
Is that a car salesman?
That's not it anymore because now what happens is you can fact check anyone on your phone. Right? Are they telling the truth or not?
In real time.
Everything now is just education. So people such as, when you have a background such as Mike, now you are able to fact check them in where, your bank statements are here. I didn't do this to you. You have X amount of deposits, etc. He's not the only one that has come from that back office space. Jonathan Yella, another one. Hey, Jonathan came in. Jonathan was a top producer a couple of months.
Yeah.
He's been with us for quite some time now.
Shout out to Yellow.
And I think that was honestly, Mike, am I right or am I wrong? I think that was one of the biggest reasons why even Mike took that leap. Because I'll be honest with you, right in the beginning, you were concerned. You were like, oh wait, can I do this? Can I not? What?
Yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, like there was a lot of reserve and being the person that's never on the phone but sits behind the scenes and analyzes everything. It was tough to make this transition, but once I had that meeting with you, and then once we sat down and spoke, obviously, I've worked with you guys for many a year.
Yes.
So it was a comfort to come back here because I knew that I can learn and I can grow to be better on the phones and
want you to grow.
communicate to people.
And you closed the deal on your first week here. You closed the deal.
Yeah.
He closed the deal his first week. He was like, wait, hold on. Am I doing okay? So I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? You should be proud of yourself. You closed the deal the first week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from just processing and doing everything on the back end, now you're on the sales side.
Earning commission.
You're earning commissions, which is, from what Jonathan told me, was Jose, I'm glad I made the jump, right? He went on vacation. He was still closing deals on vacation when he was in Ibiza.
Jonathan was in Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Well, I want to take credit for Jonathan because I'm pretty sure. I
There you
just
go.
want to throw that out there, but no, honestly, like when you said that, because obviously we work together, and I know the potential and I know what I can do here, and to have you guys as a support system, this was the pace. Like this is where I should be. So it made sense for me to be here.
Clap it up one more time.
Yes.
Now listen, really quick.
And it helps when you got a supportive man like Jose, because it is true. I do spend too long on the phone. That is how I was taught. It wasn't location.
Oh, now he's coming back. See, now he's coming back.
Relationship. That's what was ingrained in my head for 10 years.
Yeah.
I've been getting better at cutting my calls shorter and being, listen, I got to hop on a meeting. I'm going to work on your file right now. You got to do that sometimes. A lot of these clients will just keep talking and talking and talking, which is great and all. You want that. That's how you know they like you and they want to work with you. What else?
Listen, what I think is that, we're going to steal Ryan for the month of November.
Yep.
And we're going to make Ryan Guy a member of Lemonade Capital. That's where you're really going to get put through the ringer. And you're going to, and all you guys out there, well, all you ladies and gentlemen out there know, we used to get MCA clients where you're pitching them. Let me tell you, it's a different type.
I think everyone should go through
MCA gauntlet.
They should.
Because when you go to an MCA gauntlet and you go to, hi, this is Ryan from Lemonade Capital, and they hear Lemonade, or not Lemonade, they hear Capital, click, or they hear something,
Not even not even that, Daryl, that cuts you off, but it's also speed, right? And we've now, because you're dealing with deals on a fast pace, because you could speak to a client today, he says he's going to send you bank statements, and unless you're talking to him or her, and they're going to send you the statements, let's say within 24 hours, someone else is already calling them saying, "Hey, listen, you know what? I'm their supervisor. Send it over to me. Forget about that guy. Send it over to me." And that's really where it's at. Even Joe. Now he was like, "Listen, I want to dabble into a different space." He still does mortgages, but he's like, "Listen, I want to dabble into it." Today, one of his questions was, "Jose, I spoke to the client yesterday. When should I follow up back?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? You should have spoken. You should have spoken to him before you left." Because now you need that right away in order for you to be able to close the deal. Because if not, Joe Schmo across the street is going to call them. And if they sound better than you do, or they provide better products than you do,
Or
maybe they call them at the right time. Right.
And just yes them to
Yeah, right now, what's going to happen is they're sending them the statements. They just got funded. By the time you're calling him or her,
Bang.
and the next day, because you don't want to be intrusive, because you want to give them their space, because you want to do this, hey, Joe, I already got the money. What are you talking about?
Jose's cooking tonight.
You know what I mean?
Your best episode, bro.
Highlights. Episode 46 is highlights.
wrong. Until you get lose my number, stop calling, you call.
There you go.
It's that simple. It really is.
Listen, even if I get lose my number, I'm calling you from a block number.
What's that blood down, dude?
I'm gonna find you. And I'm Liam Neeson. No, but listen.
Don't you take that thought.
Listen, really quick. I sort of read some comments because I see some black emojis. Definitely got to be Stanley. Stanley said, I think this was on you, Mike. He said, Mike, what made you want to switch from processing to selling?
Well,
Question.
I mean, because I can see that there's more potential for income in selling than just collecting a paycheck week by week and helping other people make money.
Ooh.
Where I'm the one that was putting their deals into the proper banks, where I can do that now myself after I speak to the client and figure out where they need to go and what type of product that they can actually receive. So instead of me just making a paycheck to paycheck, let me make the commission on it because I know I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you got no.
Hold on.
No.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. What you got? Hold on. And right now you have what? You have a line of credit. And right now in approvals, if you look at here, you have a line of credit. Right? How much is that for? The line of credit for OPM?
Oh, 36K, but he's gonna take the cash advance because of the 100% payoff.
Interest forgiveness.
Interest forgiveness. Thank you, Daryl.
There you go. So that's one.
that's
Then
one.
you got contracts out today for 17,000, right? With all the steps already sent to your inbox.
Correct.
And I think you're working on a few other. Oh, we have the two personal loans,
Correct.
right? One was 6. Was it 60 or what?
One was for 45, and then the other one was initially approved for 47, but they had to lower it a little bit because they had to remove the inquiries.
So 40, 45, 30, and then the increase was how much? How much was the second one for? The second one? Your second one. So that I know one of them you got.
Initially, it was for 47. They had to lower it. I'm just waiting to get confirmation from our rep.
And then we submitted one today, which had it was a full doc file. That one should be another 100.
Correct.
Right, so he's almost close to what? 250, 300? 250. Let's call it 250.
Listen, in layman's terms, if we were at another company that just does MCAs, he only has that 17K.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? Because we have alternative programs, instead of him only having one deal, we have 6
Fine
deals.
with a personal loan, MCA,
Come on.
term loan,
Come on.
paying everything off. It's just insane.
Can I just add on to that 17K story? So, like you were saying before, like what my guy was saying, you don't hang up until the person hangs up on you. I had this guy, I called him, and he's like, "Oh, are you the reason why I'm getting all these phone calls? My phone doesn't stop ringing, blah, 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 blah." I go, "Well, I'm not. The first time I ever called you. I'm looking at your file. Let me see what I can do for you. Ignore everybody else's phone call." The guy has been ignoring everybody else's phone call, and he's taking my calls, and he's taking my text messages. So I got this guy confident that I can get him the funding, and that's why I got him the 17K. He couldn't believe it when I texted him.
Yeah.
I said, "I got you 17,000." He goes, "There's not a chance." 100% I go, "And I have you on a decent term." He's like, "All right, done." So
Yeah.
I'm working on that one. It should be funded tomorrow.
My man, yo, clap it up. Yo,
And that's Daryl. That's the power of Daryl in the back office. Also too setting us up with the right lenders.
you never say Daryl in the back in like the same sense ever again.
That's
Like,
the back
okay.
office.
All right, cool.
Yo, this water is spicy, guys.
Oh, it sure is. Ladies and gentlemen, really quick. Stanley, another question. Oh, this is a fire ass question, Stanley. Thank you for tuning in, bro. I know, Stanley. I know you're in the football field. I know you have your backpack on. I know the little kids are running around. Hopefully, they don't get CTE. Thank goodness. We are going to answer this question one by one, and this will
please.
take us into final thoughts. Stanley's great question. Sexy chocolate.
Mm.
Pass. Can you all tell us why you chose the MCA or mortgage field?
Let's start off with Rye Guy.
All right, let's go left to right. Why did you choose the mortgage field?
Well, to be fair, I've been in business for 10 years now, and it's where I'm well versed. I just haven't been introduced to MCAs, SBA, lines of credit, 0% business cards, any of that until really 2 months ago, until I joined these boys, which has been an absolute pleasure because now, if I do get those types of deals in, I can just pitch them to Jose, and he has the turnaround like that. Literally like that. To the point where just today he's saying, "Did you follow with the client?" And it's like 2 hours later. That's how fast it is for pre-approval. Not even pre-approval. I think you got approval in what? Less than 24 hours?
Yeah, because remember, because we do it in house, pre-approvals are fairly quickly, right? As far as to determining if we can move forward or not, we have the relationships with the actual banks, so we know already. You know what? And if we don't know, we ask.
And if you don't,
We ask the bank. If you don't know, now you know. Now we know. Now we know because we're asking the bank, right? Hey, listen, can we move forward with this? And they did. They were like, there was a credit report that back office couldn't really understand it if it can go through or not. Submitted the credit report. We a consultant of ours that we have over that's worked with a lot of these different banks. Sent it over, reviewed it. He said, yes, let's move forward. This is what he or she has to do. Boom, got it done. Contracts were signed fairly quickly, right? Because we're never going to send out a pre-approval unless we know that we can get the deal done.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to waste your time, and we definitely don't want to waste ours. Because at the end of the day, if nothing gets done, then we don't charge you, right? And that's one of the biggest things.
Because we work for
100%
it's a success fee.
is zero.
Listen,
And that helps us also to avoid problems. Don't ever, please, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever take a deal, reconsider a deal if someone guarantees something, right? Because nothing is guaranteed in life unless other than you're gonna pay taxes and we're gonna die, right? If they guarantee, it means that they're trying to push it on you because they don't know if it's gonna get done or not. I guarantee you something. I guarantee it, right? That's nonsense. Number two is don't pay anything up front. I had a client that we actually were able to call in advance. It wasn't even full. It was $5,000 up front, and then he was going to pay them. He was going to pay them a certain percentage at the end. It was like 3%. I was like, yo, honestly, based on what you have, you still need other stuff. I got to remove credit. I got to do this. I got to do that, et cetera, so on and so forth. Before you even get submitted to the bank, you're going to give him $5,000? But you know what? You're not going to see any results, unfortunately, because it's set up correctly.
I got to cut you off. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. It's the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone is grinding for as many paychecks and as many paydays as they can. If you're speaking to a client and deal doesn't fucking make sense, please don't have any.
Don't be gullible.
Yo, radical, zoom in on me.
Move on to the next.
It's like I'm 6'9" right now. Zoom in on me.
I don't know why 6'9", but
Because 6'9" just had a big interview. Chill.
Okay, go.
Zoom in on me.
You're not that tall.
He's not like five. He's like 5'0".
Zoom in on me. Listen, if your client gives you an outrageous proposal that doesn't fucking make clip this. Your client's giving you a proposal that does not make sense. Don't be afraid to tell him that shit does not make even curse. Usually when you curse, it's a shock. It's a shock and all fact. Oh my god, he cursed. Yes, I cursed. You're an idiot. This deal does not make sense. Somebody's doing 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month. Someone's promising them a $300,000 line of credit, zero and fucking 22.5% interest over 3-5 years. You MCA guys, you know that. We speak to people all day. We feel like we're super beat on the deal. It doesn't make sense. Chances are it doesn't make sense. Don't be afraid. Just like Sarah said earlier when she was here, just like Jose said earlier, Go try to take that deal. See what happens. Guys, it doesn't exist. There's a lot of fraud going on right now. We have the real deal programs.
Put it in writing.
We have no problem saying, hey, listen, tell your guy if it's real, put it in writing. Chances are they can't. We're not going to be beaten. This is the time of year where we try to really compete against the fraudsters. There's a lot of fraud going on right now. There's a lot of people out there trying to fraud the people in Texas. Listen, there's a tropical storm that's about to hit Puerto Rico, the Caribbean, everything. There are people looking for funding. We need to be the market for them to get real funding. People are scamming out here. It's the holidays. Again, fourth quarter, it's where the most fraud goes on. We want to set ourselves apart. Everyone's looking for money. We want to be the resource.
Yeah.
We want to be able to really coach people, coach your clients. If you guys can't get them done, we want to coach them into what's for real. Guy, if you do 10K a month, no one's giving you 50. Doesn't even make sense. Okay? If you're making 20 grand a year, you're not going to qualify for $1 million mortgage. That doesn't make sense, right? Same shit applies to business money. If you're doing 10K a month, you're not getting 40. It doesn't make sense. However, if you have good credit,
Yeah.
if you have a co-signer,
Or let me add something to that. Is remember, don't get suckered into taking a deal saying, "Hey, take a cash advance, and then I show me good payment history." And I give you like, there's no such thing as a payment history. It's unsecured. It doesn't show up in your credit report. Where is the payment history going to reflect? That in Bradstreet, it doesn't do that. Your business credit, it doesn't do that. Please don't be a sucker and say, "Hey, you know what? Take this deal." We hear it all the time. Listen, we've seen it all the time. When a client comes to me, hey, the guy said, let me take this deal. It's unsecured, daily payment, and then I can qualify for a line of credit after a couple of payments. How? What is? I mean, where you? How is the? If you think about it, every lender is different. They don't look at your credit, right? The only thing they're gonna look at is, did you default? They'll look at data merge. Did you default? That's right. They'll look at a clear report. Do you have a UCC because you defaulted? That's it. Other than that, they don't care if you paid Joe Schmo, on time. Why? It's not their money. Why would they care? They only care if you defaulted. You're not paying him. Why am I going to give you a deal and pick up that headache? I mean, Malafonte,
no, ta. Because Stanley's right, and we have to go down the panel and
all right, let's
ask
go.
why we chose our route. Well, Stanley, I can tell you this. I was I don't
I'm the close.
want to cry on camera, but
So don't.
Failed.
I was born in the inner city. You guys laughing? That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't really have many opportunities. It was either it was either play basketball or trying to figure out my way out.
You played football.
Yeah, you played football.
I lost.
Oh,
I got CTE and I'm fucking finished.
come on.
No, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing MCAs because, to be honest, one thing that I always wanted to do was I feel like I'm good at being relatable. And I just wanted to be in a field that I can relate to people, understand their needs, and get them what they qualify for and put money in my pocket at the same time. That's why I'm in MCAs. It's quick. I can fund a deal for $100,000, 15 points, get paid my percentage, and potentially make a check that same week. That's going to be a couple of $1,000s. It's a quick return, but in order to be good at this shit, you have to know your guidelines. You have to stay updated with the trends, and you also have to make sure you stay in your client's face. I'm very good at. I'm going to be always in your face, always give you the most knowledge, and always be able to be competitive with whatever anybody else out there is offering.
Wow. Inner city effect.
I was born in
Yeah, be careful.
the inner city. No, listen, we don't need to start a GoFundMe. I just need more deals. You give me the deals, I'll make sure that your clients be qualified. I'll also make sure that your clients are going to be offered the best possible deal that's out there.
How am I gonna just wow?
You start, well, listen. I was born here, so you would start with your roots.
I had to cross.
Don't do that.
Listen. No. Listen.
Yo, Jose.
So
Homework music.
So listen, this is unlike Daryl. Unlike Daryl, the reason why I'm in this space, I've done both, right? I've been I've been able to go ahead and see how the mortgage space works. See how and he's wrong. It's not just cash advances we do. I've seen how the business lending world works as well. The reason why I choose business lending over mortgages, honestly, it's because I see faster results. Speed, right? You can identify a problem right away. Mortgages, you're waiting. You can speak to the client. Everything is in order. Client money's great, etc. But then title comes back, right? You just spent 2-3 weeks because appraisal came back, right? Exactly. So that's the reason why I let Stanley handle all that. Right? Stanley handles all that. Stanley, that's your answer. On the business lending side, really, it's more about just seeing faster results. Yes, the money is great. I think on both ends, because if you close a $500,000 deal, you get you close it for 2 points, right? That's $10,000. It's the same thing as and you're not closing a business lending deal that often for $500,000, right? Or even on the merchant cash advance side. So it's not really about the money; it's about the speed as far as results. I like to make sure that I'm not wasting my time, right? And trying to get everything done. And at the last minute, the deal dies because the client didn't tell me one thing because he tried to hide it, but everything comes out at the end. So for me, the business lending side is what I choose to do because I can see faster results. And if I'm fortunate enough where the client needs money right away, even if I get them a bank program, I can now close that deal in 24 hours. I can get them the best approval around because we have a great back office. Daryl, amazing person that is going to go ahead and get us the best deal around if it's something short term. But then I can take them out with an exit strategy and make them bankable because we've built relationships with banks. So that's the reason why I choose to be on the business lending side.
My man. And then listen, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna have Mike. We're gonna have Mike tell us why he's in obviously MCAs over mortgages, and then we're a little late. It's 8:11. We're not gonna do final thoughts. I'm gonna wrap it up. But Mike, tell us why you're in business lending over mortgages.
All right. Well, the journey that I took to get into this industry was a little weird. So I used to bartend. I got involved in working with real estate, and when my fiance went on vacation, she was in the uh, business lending department. They brought me over, and the week after she came back, I went back into the real estate department. Her boss wanted me over there, and then I started working back office over at doing like business lending, and I've been involved in back office for about 6 years. And now that I'm on the phones, that's what got me into this. I know the product, I know the industry, I know how to qualify people. So
Okay.
maybe I know how to qualify people. I know how to tell people where I know like how to tell people where they deserve to be, and like I can help people get to where they want to be
Yeah.
financially. But it's been a long route.
Okay. I know. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna wrap this up.
Before we wrap this up, I would just like to say the reason I'm in the real estate business and why I chose it is not just the history. It is when you do get a client, you get a client for life. Let's give it an example. Let's say fix and flip. They need a DCR refi cash out the other day. On top of that, even better, my coworker Sarah that was just on the pod, she has a deal right now that's a $2.1 million multifamily 21 unit over in Alabama. And yes, indeed, great. But on top of that is also if they're a 1031 exchange client. They're a 1031 exchange client. That means they have 180 days to identify the next deal, 45 days to close on the next deal.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Sorry, I got distracted for 1 second. But the reason is this is very pertinent because you have a client for life. You close that first deal, that client is coming back to you for the rest of their lives, that 1031 exchange deal. It takes a lot longer, and a lot of times your time may get wasted, but when you do land, you really land. You really do. You don't believe? Look up Coleman Marketplace, Chesterfield Marketplace. Those two deals made me over $300,000 in one
Clap it
deal.
up.
Most I ever made in my entire life.
Clap it up.
Straight
Yeah.
deals. Both 1031 exchange deals retail. So just right there, you have clients for life. You get one done, they're coming back to you for the next and the next and the next. It takes a lot longer. You need a lot more documentation than an MCA. It's pretty much opposite MCAs, to be transparent with you, but it can be well worth it in the long run, especially when you learn all the real estate slang, capex, RRs, meaning replacement reserves, TILCs, tenant improvements, leasing commission reserves, management fees, how that goes in underwriting, all that good stuff. Sorry, what was that? Well, but final thoughts is to each their own. The best is when you have a shop with Jose and Sexy Chocolate, the man, the myth, the legend, because then you can do both. You could do both. I'm not well versed in MCAs or business lending. But if I get that in, just ask, do you own a business? Credit score over 680? Then I could go to Jose. And then he could close it for me. I don't even need to be well versed.
These sound bites of. Who the hell is talking? Who the hell is that? Who is that?
Whoa, yes. Share yourself inside the screen. We don't see the football game.
We see them.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead.
hey, listen, Stanley, please pull over.
Go ahead.
Drive safe, okay?
At least.
Nice.
So
So what you're saying is can't stop, won't stop.
Oh wait,
Stanley, you know what?
What Stanley just said.
Stanley, thank you so much for giving, your opinion on why you won't stop.
Yeah, stop, but he can't stop.
Yeah, Stanley. Thank you, Radical. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you know what?
It's worth mentioning.
Listen, I don't want to shortchange you guys. I do definitely want to give you guys final thoughts for everybody. Listen, Ryan guy just gave his. Mike Malfonsi, real quick, just give your final thoughts. 2 seconds.
Wait, it's first time here. Let him know what final thoughts are.
It's kind of like Maury, right? So, like,
You are the
So I have to
father.
tell somebody that they're not the father?
well, not necessarily. You just have to summarize what you think the topic of tonight was, which you do know. It's about overcoming objections. Just summarize that real quick in like 45 seconds so we can let these ladies and gentlemen watch Thursday Night Football.
Yeah. So, I mean, overcoming objections, as soon as somebody tries to give you a bit of a hurdle, I like to try to, like, compromise and talk to them and try to relate with them. And, because a lot of these guys that I'm talking on the phone with, they're like, oh, I get all these calls all the time. Like, I had to deal, like, we talked
Take your
about
glasses
before.
off so we know you're real.
So, when, no, but like I just like to relate with the customer, the clients that I have, the people that call in, the people that I try to talk to. Like I try to relate one on one with them and make them feel comfortable when they can speak to me and send me the proper documentation. That's like the only hurdle I've had to overcome. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I already got funded." Oh, did you like what you got? No. Cool, let's work together. So like as long as you could just like build a relationship with people, it's easier to work with them because they're gonna trust you more. So that's my takeaway.
Wow.
Fire, Fonzie.
Please
Man,
don't take
take
off, do not take off your glasses again, please. All right.
Let's go, Jose. Take us home, Jose.
Wow. All right. So, and I'm speaking because of experience, something that happened today. Just remember this, right? Even though you always think you're right, your job is not to win arguments. It's to win understanding, right? You can lose a lot of deals because you're trying to prove a point. At the end of the day, remember, whether it's the lender or the client, you're in the customer service field, right? Um, you're not, it's not about proving a point. It's about understanding what needs to get done to get over that finish line. Because if you don't have that happen, what's going to happen? I don't like what the lender said or the account executive for the lender said, and now I'm going to get into a battle with him or her. They can easily say, you know what? I don't want to do the deal anymore. So, and what's going to happen now? Oh, let me pivot over to do this and this to take it somewhere else. No, understand you're in the customer service field. It doesn't matter how right you are, how knowledgeable you are. It's still at the end of the day, you have to learn how to work with finesse. And this was something that I told someone today. This is the reason why Google invented Gemini. This is the reason why Google, or not even Google, just ChatGPT was invented.
I'm a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini. What you should do, if you have Google, we have Google Workspace, right? Do this. Get all your feelings out, right? Write the text. Hey, I dislike you, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. You have the right to do so. Then at the end, go to Gemini, go to the little button on the bottom that looks like a wand, click it and formalize it, right? Or make it business professional. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose a deal because you lost your temper. Those are my final thoughts.
Well said.
Yo, I gotta tell you, Jose, you're getting good at this soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, yo, camera on me. You know the vibes. I'm getting good at better and better this every week. Better and better. Zooming on me, radical. I don't know what Lucas is. Lucas is not even here tonight. He's doing some other shit somewhere.
No, he's doing a cartwheel contest in the parking lot.
He is.
No, we were.
I think he won.
It was jiu-jitsu or something, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, a no today can still from tomorrow. You don't need the perfect rebuttals. You need perfect control. Okay? Great brokers don't avoid objections. They invite them. And honestly, the sale doesn't begin on the first phone call. It really begins at the first no. Here's the truth. Objections are where the real selling begins. Most brokers fear them. Great brokers, we study them. Okay? When you stop taking pushbacks personally, start seeing them as a sign of, interest, everything changes.
Take it personally, you're dead.
Exactly.
Dead in the water.
When people start objecting to you, they can just, why aren't they hanging up? They're objecting because they still are intrigued by what the hell you're saying. They just want to know what you need to say more. It's when they stick on the phone after the first objection, they want you to sell them at that point. You have to show your value.
Or they would hang up.
Why not just hang up? Why are they not hanging up? Again, we get hung up on 30, 50, 100 times a day, depending on how many calls you guys make. Why are they not hanging up? They're asking you questions. They're giving you pushback for not hanging up because that's your opportunity to intrigue them, to give them more information to get them to want to buy from you. Because again, if you stay calm, you stay confident, you stay curious, you'll never lose a deal over I need to think about it again. Let them give final thoughts for content.
You just need to have a real conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, Radical, cue our new outro music. Oh my God. Let's close. Hey, I'm Darren Mills, your host, aka El Mágico.
Have a good night,
All right,
everyone.
we got Jose Martinez.
Thanks for having me.
We got Mike Malafonte.
Thank you guys for joining us.
A lot of spicy water
Thank you
over
for
here.
saying
We got right guy.
having me on.
Bye, guys.
Gentlemen, we're approaching our 1 year anniversary. Stay tuned. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for the live, guys.
Brokers Connection.